A brief message from your friendly neighborhood editing Jordan. This is your content warning. We try to keep things PG-13 around here. However, certain among us have a proclivity towards foul language and foul humor. So viewer discretion is advised. This is your only warning. While we're at it, I should probably note that any opinions stated about a certain tabletop role-playing game are just that, our opinions. We have been longtime fans and players of the game, and so we have a vested interest in how game mechanics work, and as a hobby in our group, we enjoy yelling at each other over rules interpretations. So everything that we say is all in good fun. With that in mind, however, I will still ask, Wizards, please hire us. Well, with that out of the way, enjoy the show.
Like a cinch, man.
Like a glove?
Like a piece of a dessert or a confection.
Like a glove?
Like a piece of flan.
Ooh, flan. I haven't had flan in a long time.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I've never
I like
had
it.
flan.
I think it's like a weird, like you either hate it or you love it because it's a texture thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not a huge fan of like pudding and stuff, so it's.
I do like pudding.
I like creme brulee is one of my favorite desserts.
Never had creme brulee.
It's good. Actually, that's a lie. Tiramisu is my favorite dessert, but creme brulee is up there.
What?
I think I'm gonna die.
Why are you gonna die?
Oh no! Somebody get the artificer!
If only
Why are we
was.
getting an artificer? What?
If-
That's such a weird statement. Why would the artificer be someone to help Pertuset if he's going to die?
If only there was someone suitably skilled enough at creating a mechanical flan that would bring me back to life.
It's alive!
Ah! Hey everybody, welcome to the Nat One Podcast, aka Nope, because nope, you're not gonna want to hear what we're about to have to say. I'm Pertuset.
I'm Levi.
And I'm Jordan. This is a really good segue.
Yeah.
Whoa, what was that noise? What?
Off topic, I think that I need to dye my hair and get like the Bride of Frankenstein white streaks. I think that would be very cool.
Yeah.
I would love for that, and I would love for people to be like, I love your Valentina cosplay.
I don't even care, man. I think it would be sick. I think it'd be really cool, and I kind of want to do it.
New age white hair streak. OMG, I love Marvel.
I'm not gonna lie, I hadn't even read any of this, so I hadn't put two and two together that like that was the whole idea behind the new artificer was like Frankenstein.
It's a Frankenstein subclass, and I'm gonna be mad if it's bad because I love Frankenstein.
Yeah, we're talking about the new subclasses today. I really should have put that together because they're also called the horror subclasses.
Yeah.
So I really should have figured that out before we got in here, but no, I'm just doing that now.
Mad scientist.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how many of these make it. So far, the track record of UA, ever since 2024 edition, like the PHB and stuff came out, every UA, from what I've seen, has pretty much made it to the book unchanged every time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know why they're
We'll
doing
see
it as
how it
UA,
goes.
but sure. At first I was gonna make a joke about being like, "Don't you love horror in May?" And then I was like, "Oh, well, they're probably gonna release the book around October."
Why I do love horror and Halloween all year round. Let's go.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
a problem.
you are Wizards' target audience.
I know. It's halfway to Halloween. That's why they released it now. That's like genuinely the halfway point to Halloween was like earlier this week. I'm part of the
Yeah.
problem.
So the artificer got a new subclass.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the two new ones today first, and see if we have
Yes.
time for the 6 reworks.
A lot of people got subclasses, but the two new ones are for the artificer and for the ranger.
Yeah.
All the other ones are old subclasses that we already know about. They're just getting reworked for
Fresh
2024,
new
basically.
coat of paint.
Yep. So we're going to talk
Artificer.
about the brand new stuff today.
Woo.
They got the Reanimator. Reassemble corpses to raise the dead.
Yes.
Huh.
This is what I want to be as a necromancer, and if this is not good, I'm going to be irate.
I looked a little bit at it beforehand, but I didn't look much into it. I struggle, me personally, at really understanding the place of the artificer in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think
I
the
think-
artificer also strong.
I was gonna
Find the place
say,
of the artificer.
But let's just read into it. Do we want to do the flavor text? We probably
Yeah,
should give it
might as well.
its due diligence. So, reanimators defy the laws of nature in pursuit of gruesome experiments.
Why are you
These-
Transylvanian?
These grim artificers stitch together servants from disparate corpses,
Became Russian.
use foul magic to strengthen the living, and transform the art of necromancy into a terrifying science.
Adam Sandler?
Awesome. You get some
It's a level
spells
3. Yep, it's a level 3 subclass. You get it at level 3, which that's the case for everyone now, isn't it?
in 2024.
I always
Yeah.
forget about that.
Yep.
Because it's dumb and bad and stupid, and I hate it.
Yep. That's why.
That's specifically why. They watched all of our videos, and after they heard everything we had to say, they just decided to do all of it out of spite.
Yep. That's why we keep making these episodes.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, the first part of it
is actually Jeremy Crawford.
Yep.
Except, isn't he leaving Wizards
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, he's leaving.
Yeah.
We bullied him out, guys.
We did it!
We did it.
Pop the champagne! First up, you get reanimator spells. It's about what you would expect. You got False Life, Spare the Dying. Witch Bolt.
Which bolt? Well, because
lightning bolt.
lightning.
Lightning bolt.
Frankenstein lightning.
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
Blindness, Deafness, Enhance Ability, Animate Dead, Lightning Bolt, Blight, Death Ward, Anti-Life Shell, and Raise Dead. And those are at your typical levels of 3, 5, 9, 13, and 17.
I think those are thematically appropriate.
It's
Light's-
fine.
Light's kind of weird, but I think it's the weirdest out of all of them.
I never really care about the feature is you get more spells.
Yeah.
But that's the 2024 design philosophy anyway. So
But you don't have to prepare them. They're always prepared.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Next up is Jolt to Life. Levi, you want to take that one?
Sure. When you cast Spare the Dying, you can modify the spell so that it sends a jolt of electricity through the target, reviving it. Is Spare the Dying a spell in 2024, or am I crazy? Or
Well,
is it just a cantrip? Still?
Well, I think they're using the same term, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cantrip
I think
is a
they're just calling it
spell.
Okay. Yeah,
Not
it's
a
because
leveled
they're technically,
spell.
yeah, they're level 0 spells technically.
Yeah.
The target retains 1 hit point, and each creature in a 10-foot emanation originating from the target makes a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC, taking lightning damage equal to 1d4 plus half your artificer level rounded up on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. You can modify this spell this way a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
I don't hate it.
I mean, it's all right.
Kind of nothing.
Yeah, it's
If it
dink
scales,
damage.
it'll be better.
Yeah.
Its scaling is the half your artificer level, but at most
True,
that's
yeah.
10.
Yeah.
So you're well, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I guess it is because you're doing double duty. I mean, it's damage that you would not do otherwise with Spare the Dying.
What range is Spare the Dying?
Touch.
It's touch unless certain people get it at range,
One
but I
cleric
don't.
spell subclass gets it at range,
That's
and I think
right.
it's Grave Cleric.
Yeah,
Is
grave
it
cleric
Grave
is not
Cleric or
range,
Death
so
Cleric? I can't remember.
Doesn't work for range for the
I think it's
artificer,
grave
but
cleric.
still.
So you would hit yourself with this.
10-foot
I'm
emanation.
assuming
Yeah.
maybe no, I don't know.
Based on the wording, each creature in a 10-foot emanation or originating from the target makes a dex saving throw against your spell save DC. That's definitely not intentional.
That's a
but it
wording
is
problem. Yeah,
it
that's
is rules as written how it works.
the
Yes.
way it reads. Yes, that's a
Awesome.
flaw.
Awesome. Right. Okay.
It does not exclude you
We're
from it.
starting
So
off great. Okay.
it really should. It should say
It
like
really
every
should.
enemy
Yeah.
within is
Well, I guess it's trying to be like it would also it's like Fireball where you could also zap your buddies on accident. That's
Well, I
not-
was.
But no matter what, you're gonna zap
Right, you're gonna
yourself
zap
if it's
yourself.
touch.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, it's
Yeah.
touch. So that means. Well, anyway,
Oh.
I guess it doesn't matter very much because it doesn't do a lot of damage. It'd be really funny though if like you have 14 hit points and you're like, don't worry, guys, this will only hurt me if I do max damage, and then you
Well,
do.
hold on, wait, I'm reading. The
hmm
target regains 1 hit point in each creature in a 10 foot. So, like, are there other spells that word that it's like every target, every creature within that don't hit you?
What are you
I don't
talking
know.
about?
Well, there are other spells that are worded like this. It's just typically they are ranged options,
Yeah. Hmm.
whereas Spare the Dying is not. And I think that I genuinely think that was probably just them missing that and forgetting about it.
All right, the only other thing I think is the next feature we're going to read about. It probably has something
Will
to do
change
with
it.
that. Well, that
You
doesn't
don't have
really,
lightning damage.
it doesn't change it, but I think it's gonna influence this a little bit,
Hmm.
Hmm.
but it still doesn't change the fact that whatever casts the Spare the Dying through this feature is gonna take the damage,
Yeah.
which is
Oof.
funny. Yeah. Oh wait, there is something they fixed with it, but it's not always gonna be the case. But I guess you do have the option of using this or not. It's just nothing to write home about. But funny little
True.
rules interaction there.
Yep.
All right, Jordan, you can take the next one. It's a lengthy one.
Another
Gotcha.
level 3 feature.
Level
Yep.
3, Reanimated Companion. Using Tinker tools or another type of artisan's tools with which you have proficiency, you can take a magic action, still stupid, to create a reanimated companion. See the stat block. Through the power of necromancy and science. The companion manifests in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you. You determine the companion's appearance. Your choices don't affect companion's game statistics. The companion is friendly to you and your allies and obeys you. It lasts until you finish a long rest or until you make a magic action to dismiss it early, at which point it harmlessly collapses into a pile of viscera. I kind of dig that. It immediately drops
Ooh.
to 0 hit points and dies, triggering its death burst trait if you die. Once you create a companion, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest or expend a spell slot to create one. You can have only one companion at a time, and you can't create one while your companion is present. The companion in combat. In combat, the companion acts during your turn. It can move and take its reaction on its own, but the only action it takes is the dodge action unless you take a bonus action to command it to take an action. If you have the incapacitated condition, the companion acts on its own and isn't limited to the dodge action.
Ooh, that's a
Reanimated
nice little bit
companion
at the end.
stats: AC 10 plus your int modifier, HP 4 plus 4 times your artificer level, speed 30, strength 14, intelligence 4, dex 10, wisdom 10, con 16, charisma 6. That kind of makes sense. Resistances: necrotic, poison, immunities, lightning, charmed, exhaustion, poisoned. Senses: blind sight up to 60 feet, passive perception 10, languages, understands languages you know, CR none.
Well,
Oh, the death burst. A companion explodes when it dies. Dexterity saving throw DC equal to your spell save DC. Each creature in a 10-foot emanation originating from the companion. Failure 2d6 necrotic damage. Lightning absorption. Whenever the companion is subjected to lightning damage, it regains a number of hit points equal to the lightning damage dealt. That's kind of cool. I dig it. It's
Action.
a Oh wait, actions missed that. Dreadful swipe, melee attack roll, bonus equal to your spell attack modifier, reach 5 feet, hit 1d4 plus 2, plus your intelligence modifier, necrotic damage, and the target can't take opportunity attacks until the start of its next turn.
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's
It's like
pretty
a
good.
homunculus, but with different stuff. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Not
like
getting
that it
Frankenstein.
collapses into a pile of meat when it's dismissed. That's
Yeah.
funny.
It's
It is a small undead, so you're not getting Frankenstein, you're getting Frank.
yeah.
But
It's Frank's monster, excuse you.
true.
We did have an addendum thanks to a very helpful
Little
Terran who is
guy. Oh.
not speaking. Um, but he looked into it for us, and in 2024, Spare the Dying has a range of
Oh.
15 feet.
So
They
you
did change
barely
it.
can be out of the range of the emanation.
Hmm.
Yes.
But in any case, that's not the thing I was looking at because I was looking at the next feature. But before we get into that, so very handy little guy. Also, the
Yeah.
fact that it takes a magic action to make him, that means like it takes 6 seconds to make him.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it's I feel like you're very encouraged to have him explode. I feel
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so you do have to finish a long rest or expend a spell slot. You really can just like make a bunch of these though and just yeet them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. And
You
it's
can't have like
probably
a
better.
backstop, but you can like action make them and
Mm,
then bonus action go blow up my children.
yeah, the 2d6 necrotic damage on fail is better than a lot of artificer spells damage wise. The
Yeah.
problem is that the trait there doesn't say that on a save it does half damage. So I assume since
No
it doesn't
damage.
say it, it'd be a no damage on a success, but it does have more uses than just blowing up.
Yes, the
Uh,
the getting rid of opportunity attacks is very nice.
Mhm.
yeah,
Control of the battlefield.
and we'll see more of what it has to do later. So, all right, not bad. I don't know how it really plays in with being an artificer other than just the flavor, but you know what? I like this
Meat
more than some of the other
creature.
ones.
It's alive.
It's alive.
Next up, level 5, strange modifications. Whenever you create a reanimated companion, it gains one of the following options of your choice, chosen when you create the companion. Arcane Conduit, this is the one I was thinking about. You can cast spells as though you were in the companion's space, but you must use your own senses. Once per turn, when you cast an artificer spell from the evocation or necromancy schools and deal damage, while your companion is within 120 feet of you, you can add your intelligence modifier to one damage roll of that spell. And or ferocity. When you command your companion to take the dreadful swipe action, the companion can use it twice.
Cool.
So you choose
Ah.
one of those. So the reason I was thinking about this because this seemed like up their alley, and I'm pretty sure they've done this with some other pet companion thing
Mm,
before, is casting spells through it.
yeah.
Because I was like, this thing is immune to lightning damage, and not only that, but it absorbs lightning damage. So if you cast Spare the Dying through it and you do the
Mm-hmm.
little explosion, you actually
Hmm.
heal it
Yep.
and bring your buddy back.
Yeah.
Whoever you Spare the Dying on. It takes you to get to level 5 to that, but that's not very far from when you get the feature at level 3.
Yes.
And then Ferocity, I guess if you just want him to do the dreadful swipe more often. There you go.
Yeah, if you just want to I mean,
Multi-attack
you
is
could do
multi-attack.
you could also use it as the hit 2 people in one round with it to
Mhm.
to remove both their opportunity attacks if you're trying to do that.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
yeah, if you hit someone with it, then they don't get an opportunity attack even if you move away from them. So, yeah, that
It's
that more battlefield control.
it's fine. I'm just very interested. Like the strategic thing here is interesting. I
Mm,
like it because you kind of have to take a gamble. It's when you create the reanimated companion, it gets that or it gets the arcane conduit. You have to choose.
yeah.
So it's interesting. I suppose I'm trying to think if I were an artificer playing this subclass, how would I default with this? And I guess if everybody's up and HP wise okay, you would almost always go for the ferocity, the
But that's the
double
thing too, is
swipe.
like we just said, this isn't something that you're necessarily gonna be like being one and done with these. Like you can make so many of these guys all the time, and you can just swap them out every single time
It's
for
true.
ferocity, or yeah, you can just pick as you need for the situation.
Exactly. So I like it. All right. Levi, take the next one.
Okay, at level 9, you get improved reanimation. You experiment and alter your companion further. Whenever you create a reanimated companion, it gains one of the following options of your choice. Choose when you create the companion. Bloated. The companion becomes large or medium, your choice. Whenever it hits a large or smaller creature with its dreadful swipe action, that creature can also be pushed up to 10 feet away from the companion. Additionally, you can add your intelligence modifier to the damage dealt by the companion's death burst. Gaunt. The companion's speed increases to 45 feet, and it gains a climb speed equal to its speed. It can climb difficult surfaces, including along ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. In addition, whenever a creature of your choice starts its turn within a 10-foot emanation originating from your companion, the creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or have the frightened condition until the start of its next turn.
Hmm.
And the last one, moist.
Yeah.
The companion
Hate
gains
it.
a swim speed equal to its speed. In addition, whenever the companion is hit by an attack roll from a creature within 10 feet of it, the attacker takes acid damage equal to your intelligence modifier. Well, I guess we know what has done the moistening.
Still not a good excuse to use that word.
Those
I
are cool.
saw,
I dig
yeah,
it.
I saw people online talking about that, and I think people agreed the reason they used it is since this is the horror themed, and they know people don't like that word.
Probably.
Boo, moist. Anyway, um, I really like the Gaunt one. I can
I do
visualize
like
it.
Gaunt. Gaunt's probably my favorite of the
Makes
three.
me think of like the rake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it being able to run across the ceiling is
Long,
freaky and very
spindly
like
guy.
thematic. I like
Mm.
it.
Emaciated. Yeah, it gives like Rake, Wendigo
Yeah.
sort of vibes. Yeah.
I was even thinking it could be like a liquor.
Yeah.
Or what are those things from Warhammer? The undead, like
That's a good
vampire
question.
dudes.
Oh.
They have those like, you know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
They're
know what
like,
you're talking
is it the
about. I can't remember what they're
Vargeist or the
called.
maybe they were just ghouls? I can't remember in that.
I can't remember.
It's like a monstrous I think they're a monstrous infantry, but they almost act like a cavalry because they're really
Mhm.
fast.
Yeah.
And they pretty much do this. I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Anyway. But yeah, no, I like this. I like the options. I think the bloated one being pushed up to 10 feet away, I think that could be changed.
Mm.
Because you are not motivated to push people up 10 feet away with that because you're death burst.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would do instead, though.
I do
And
think
that
like
also buffs the death burst too, so it's like it's got its
Yeah.
priorities a little confused.
utility wise it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I will say thematic wise, considering the monster Frankenstein's habit of picking up and throwing people, it does make sense. Like flavor wise, more so than actual utilization on the battlefield.
Well, you want to combine the two. And I think there's going to be plenty of people that are going to say, can my guy do a grapple check and throw the guy? It's very easy to do that.
Yeah.
I think instead, if you're going to do something with this, it should be like you slow the target. You make them lose movement speed. That way they can't
Yeah.
get away from you when they death burst.
Yeah.
I could
Or
see
perhaps even
Maybe
an
that-
increase in strength for specifically the bloated one so that it would have
Maybe.
a better ability to like do grappling
So
and
yeah,
stuff
it
like
can
that.
grab people and then explode.
Yeah. Generally
Makes
not
me
too
think
bad,
of a
though.
boomer from Left 4 Dead.
That's exactly what I've been thinking. And you combine this with the last one too. So you can have something that does the dreadful swipe twice and is bloated.
Mhm.
That'd be pretty bad.
Yes.
I guess if you got really crazy with the arcane conduit, I don't know the artificer spell list very well, but I'm sure you could do something really wild with that too, where you like yank everybody in with some sort of spell or do something with a spell, and then your bloated just explodes. Your large bloated creature. Yeah. All right. Last up, Jordan.
Promethean reanimation. I like that it's called Promethean. That makes
Dude,
me happy.
I love
It
Alien.
makes me really happy.
Dude.
You have mastered the science of revivification. That's hard to say. Granting you the following benefits. Facilitated revival. When you cast Revivify or Raise Dead, the cost of any material components needed for that spell are halved. Improved Companion. The damage of your reanimated companion's death burst increases to 4d6 necrotic damage dealt by your companion and ignores resistance. That's cool. Life Transfer. You can siphon the animating magic off of your companion to bolster yourself. When you take damage, you can take a reaction to cause your reanimated companion to drop to 0 hit points. The companion immediately dies, triggering its death burst trait, and you regain a number of hit points equal to your artificer level.
Haha. I like that.
That
That's
is
funny.
cool.
I thought it was
That's
funny at first,
cool.
but that also is like that's a really good strategic kind of thing because you can set up the companion to be somewhere and you just have
And
to
be
take
like,
a tick of
"Yep."
damage. And
Mm.
one point of damage you can be like, it's dead. It blows up.
Yep.
Mhm. That's cool. I'm mad that I like this as much as I do.
It's actually quite good, I can't
It's
lie.
actually really cool and I really want to play it.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is that it doesn't play in at all whatsoever to the Artificer class.
No.
Not
No.
a single thing from this utilizes any Artificer class
None
features.
of the magical tinkering, none
Nope.
of the
No flash of genius or whatever
no
it's
flash of
called.
genius, none of
But
the
I get a
you
monster
have
and it
6
explodes.
attunement slots, none of that. But
Nothing.
I like it.
I like it.
Not
It's
bad.
so fun and I want to play it.
Who would have thought, Wizards? All you have to do is make something fun and not weak.
Yeah.
It's crazy what that'll do to you. Now just get this and the purple dragon knight from the last UA together.
There
Yeah.
you go. Well, I think it's cool because they picked a core feature of the subclass and it is consistent throughout that it is utilized and it does improve throughout. Like, I like the constant utilization of the creature. I think it's cool.
I just had a terrible idea.
Multi-classing Purple Dragon Knight and the Reanimator
No,
Artificer.
no, 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 no. You just have a party that has one of each, and the purple dragon knight's dragon picks up the bloated, reanimated thing and drops it into a civilized area, and then it
Yeah.
explodes from fall damage.
There you go.
Boom. Close enough. Welcome back, biological warfare.
Now what you do is you do 3 and 3. You have 3 Purple Dragon Knights
Yes.
and 3 of these Reanimator
Yes.
Artificers.
Oh my god. God.
That's another thing they could do for the bloated is just increase the range for the death burst since it's a 10-foot emanation. Make it like a 20-foot emanation.
I think with
Yeah,
a couple
true.
little tweaks, I think it's very, very cool, and I very much want to play it.
Yeah.
But even with that, the bloated's just the weakest of the 3. The other 2 are pretty decent.
Yeah.
So.
And they're unique, like with the gaunt with its climb speed and the moist with its swim speed. Give the bloated like a flying speed. I don't know.
I
Burrowing
hate that.
speed.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, burrowing would actually be terrifying and great, I think.
Explodes underneath you.
Can
Okay.
you imagine it
Landmine.
like
Make the bloated into a landmine.
Yes.
it just digs and then it pops up in the middle of the battlefield and just explodes?
It's a bouncing Betty.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one of the new ones.
I
The
gotta
Ranger.
scroll.
The Hollow Warden. I'm interested in this now. Remember, this is the version of Ranger that's all about Hunter's Mark. Everything centers around your Hunter's Mark. And when you hit level 20, you can do 1d6 damage instead of 1d4 or whatever garbage it was.
I think it
So-
was 1d10 instead of 1d6, I think.
Yeah. So, you draw on the might of ancient wild terrors. Legends tell that the most ancient and fearsome terrors lurk deep within the old places of the earth. Unfathomable and bloodthirsty entities of fallow soil and sharpened claws. Hollow Wardens venerate and draw power from such beings, transforming themselves into similarly merciless and monstrous guardians that stalk along jagged coastlines, across steep mountain crags, and through other dark and wild places. Sure. I love cryptids. So, they got spells. Level 3, Wrathful Smite, Spike Growth, Phantom Steed, Hallucinatory Terrain, and Awaken. Pretty bad spell list there, I'll say, but
Yeah.
it's the if you're not spending all your spell slots casting Hunter's Mark, what are you even doing as a ranger? So like
Because it's a spell slot now. Reminder.
yeah. Okay. Wrath of
I
the
need
Wild.
my Phantom Steed for my Headless Horseman cosplay.
Yeah. You can cast Awaken on a
Gotcha.
pumpkin to let it talk for you,
Precisely.
but you can't do that until level 17.
No, exactly.
All right, Levi, why don't you read the next feature then?
All right. Level 3, another level 3 feature besides just your spells. At least. At
Yeah.
least they're giving it that. Is Wrath of the Wild. You draw on the strange and ancient horrors of the land for power. When you cast Hunter's Mark, they're
Oh
doing it.
my
They're giving Hunter's Mark
gosh.
something. When you cast Hunter's Mark, you transform, gaining the following benefits for the duration of the spell. Ancient Armor. You gain a bonus to your AC equal to your Wisdom modifier, minimum of +1. Your body is wreathed in rotten bark or beastly bristles. And also Unnerving Aura. When an enemy starts its turn within a 10-foot emanation originating from you, I really don't like the whole, and we've been over this, but I don't like the whole emanation language
don't like
that
emanation?
they've been
I
using
hate
in
it.
2024.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before, though.
Yeah.
But sorry, within a 10-foot emanation originating from you, it makes a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, it can take either an action or a bonus action on this turn, not both. Your shadow lengthens and twists around you, or you spout unnatural growths like bloody antlers or putrid fangs. Okay, now they're doing the thing that they used to do, which is they're just straight up taking ideas that we have implemented into our games and using them, because that's a thing that I gave to one of my players in an item where you can make someone take either an action or a bonus action, not both. I,
Well, very common, very, very common idea. I'm surprised that they went with that instead of you get frightened for that one.
Yeah,
Trademarked
that
it.
honestly feels like it fits better.
they owe
Not
me money.
not that it matters a great deal. The ancient armor one's interesting because that is like your secondary stat as a ranger typically is
Could
wisdom.
be quite good if you've put a good bit into wisdom.
Yeah. I do think it's really funny. It's the duration of the spell.
Yeah.
So as soon as it falls off, you're done.
Doesn't Hunter's Mark end when the thing you put it on dies?
I'm pretty sure, but I'm not positive. Taryn! At least in the 2024 edition. I can't remember if you can move it or not.
Yeah. I know you
That
can
might
do
be a
that with
ranger
some things
feature.
like well, I think one of the hexes you can do that. You
Yeah.
can move it once something dies with it, but I'm not sure about Hunter's Mark.
We
I don't
can't
know.
talk about Hexblade's curse. We will die. We will die. We'll be in
Another
trouble.
episode.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I'll see where they go from here, but as of right now, it's not insanely impressive. They got the flavor. They got flavor.
Yep.
Give
I
me
like body
some.
horror.
Give me some mechanics.
You are getting
me
it
some
from the very
mechanics.
beginning. You're getting the bonus to AC from the very beginning. That's at level 3, so I mean that's at least nice. I think that it's at a low level.
Yeah. Yeah, normally that would be your capstone feature because they'd be like, it's too strong.
Yeah.
Okay, bonus action, move Hunter's Mark after target dies. Concentration still to a minute though, right, Taryn? Or is it longer than a minute in 2024? Or in general, maybe I'm misremembering entirely. Hour! Wow.
Okay.
So that can last you for a good long while.
It could.
Okay. Jordan, you want to take the next one?
Level 7, Hungering Might. You gain a bonus to Constitution saving throws equal to your Wisdom modifier, minimum of +1. In addition, once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack roll while you are transformed using Wrath of the Wild, you regain a number of hit points equal to 1d10 plus your Wisdom modifier, provided you are bloodied when you hit. So it's incentivizing you being extremely damaged.
Yeah.
I forget what is bloodied again.
I think that's under half.
Under half.
I think is the I feel like I remember that. Okay. I wish this was not level 7. I wish it was a little lower.
Mm.
I was gonna say, so far this isn't nearly as strong as the Reanimator.
Yeah. It's all right. It keeps you alive longer. It gives you survivability.
I like the Constitution saving throw thing. That's
Yeah.
pretty all right. If you go full on wisdom on this, you can have a +5 to AC and a +5 to con saving throws by level 7.
True.
That's funny.
And more than likely more than +5 to the con saving throws, because you'll probably have at least like 1 or 2
yeah,
in
some con
as
points,
well.
yeah. Well, I do wish they got rid of the bloodied thing though. I do wish it was just
I wish it was just all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that you have to be under half for it.
Because it's once per turn when you hit a creature with an attack roll while you're transformed. Now, admittedly, it's not hard to be transformed and hit with an attack roll, so it would be easy to heal, but you only heal 1d10 plus wisdom per turn, so long as you can dish out more damage than that as a DM. This isn't like you're infinitely alive. It's not that hard to dish out more than a d10 plus up to 5. More than 15 damage per turn to a target. A fireball will do more than that.
Yep. One good
Almost
fireball,
assuredly.
unless you're horribly unlucky.
Yeah. So, but whatever. Moving on. Rot and Violence. That sounds awesome. I sure hope it's as good as it sounds. Your dedication to eldritch forest beings alters you further. When transformed using Wrath of the Wild, you gain the following additional benefits. Eerie Aura. When a creature fails its saving throw against your unnerving aura, it also takes necrotic, poison, or psychic damage, your choice, equal to your ranger level. This damage ignores resistance. Or Strangling Roots. When you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon, you can activate the sap or slow mastery property in addition to a different weapon mastery you're using with that weapon. Okay. You just get both of those.
Yeah. I don't remember what both of those do, and I'm not going to call on Terran for this one. I'm just going to go look.
Well, I mean, like, you get the eerie aura and the strangling roots.
Yeah.
So.
I'm also.
Oh, you
I'm
also
gonna
got the
look at
unnerving
weapon
aura too.
properties
Okay.
and see
I was
what they
thinking they
do.
were a choice. Okay.
Uh,
Better.
okay, so sap is if you hit a creature with the weapon, it has disadvantage on the next attack roll before the start of your next turn. And what was the other one?
Slow.
Slow.
I imagine that just makes them lose some movement speed or something.
Probably. I have yet to find one that does that. Nope. Halberd cleaves. I have to find that. You can't look specifically for the
Yeah.
property. You have to find a
That's
weapon
annoying.
that does it. And I'm having trouble finding a weapon that does, but it's called slow. It probably
I
just
found
We can
them.
figure it out.
It reduces a creature's speed by 10 feet until the start of your next turn.
Okay. So yeah. In
Yeah,
addition to another property that you have, you can do that.
certainly not bad.
Yeah.
Better. As far as level 11, your compatriots will probably be outpacing you, but I like the compounding interest on this Wrath of the Wild form.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you can do it for like up to an hour, and I like that it can be pretty strong as it'll just keep getting stronger. Although there is only one feature left, and hopefully it continues with that theme, or at least does something pretty cool. Who would be next? It would be Jordan.
Jordan.
Level 15, Ancient Endurance. You become wholly suffused with the forest's ancient power, granting you the following benefits. Persistent Hunt. If you drop to 0 hit points while transformed using Wrath of the Wild and don't die outright, you can expend a level 4 plus spell slot, no action required. Your hit points then instead change to an amount equal to 5 times the level of the spell slot expended. Timeless. You have immunity to the exhaustion condition.
The timeless part's pretty good if it were
Yeah.
5e exhaustion. 2024 exhaustion is still not bad, but not quite as impactful.
Yeah. Again, it's more survivability. They seem to really be getting on the you can live long. You can outlast in combat.
This class or this subclass can, like, in theory, the way it seems like it's being built for is like you can do this by yourself in a single player D&D campaign, and you'd be all right because you can do spell casting, you have ways to sustain yourself, you can deal some damage. Yeah.
I will say, final impression after reading the whole thing, even though I do not like Ranger in 2024, I think this is an all right subclass for 2024 Ranger.
It's okay.
Because they didn't drop the ball. They did say, okay, 2024 Ranger is entirely based around Hunter's Mark, so let's have a feature that is entirely based around Hunter's Mark for the subclass.
Yeah, they dropped that with the last
in that
one.
regard.
The last one, the Winter Walker or whatever it was, that one dropped it.
Yeah.
This one's not so bad.
Yeah.
I really like the flavor of it, definitely. Because we all know that I really like the cryptid ancient forest god thing. Just in general, I dig the flavor of it. I think we're missing a fear aspect, and I know that that's like Gloomstalker's thing, but I feel like if you're gonna go into the you are being consumed by the forest and becoming a being of plant and rot and that kind of thing, there needs to be a little bit more use of frightened and fear and that kind
What
of
is
stuff.
this? What are we? Some sort of horror subclasses?
Oh yeah, you're so right.
I don't know
sorry.
about you two. I
PDF?
just don't think it's very scary.
Ray
Honestly.
2025?
I wouldn't be scared by that if I saw it in real life.
I feel like not like fear is the mechanic. I'm thinking more just like the unnerving
Nah,
nature
completely
of
normal.
cryptids.
I see it every day.
Well, I know, well, we live in Appalachia. We're immune to that. I'm talking about general people.
Well,
normal
you're
folk.
playing in my Appalachia campaign where everyone is normalized to this all the time, so they are not afraid of you being a spooky man with a deer skull head.
Okay, objection withdrawn.
All right.
That's my character for Zeal.
That's it. The Appalachia country Pertuset. Do you have that ready? Do you?
Huh?
We're doing Lovecraft. Of course we're doing Appalachia cryptids. At least I am. I'm planning on it.
We'll see when we get there. It's
Please.
fine. I'm afraid. I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough, is what I'll say. I'll say it's
There
good
you go.
enough.
Pertuset's at least afraid, Jordan.
I'm afraid. No. But there are people like Jordan who are going to be very drawn to this flavor and be very disappointed when they can't do the things they want to do with it,
Yeah.
which we see a
Is
lot in D&D.
I mean, this not to take away from the critique because I do agree with it, but is fear a spell rangers can get or no?
I don't know.
I think isn't that like part of the
Let me look.
Gloomstalker vibe where they're
Well, yeah, but that's that's what I'm saying is like at the very least you might just be able to cast a spell. It wouldn't
Yeah.
be part
Yeah.
of the subclass.
Well, that's
I'm
what I was
looking.
saying for
I'm
why they
looking.
maybe didn't include fear as much because they didn't want to take away from Gloomstalker. That's never stopped
Gloomstalker
them for
Ranger
other
is
things,
the
but
only ranger that
They
gets
can get
fear.
fear.
that's what I thought.
It is a shame. I wish they would have given you a way to get fear in this, but at the
Oh
same
wait.
time,
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not in. I was looking at it,
okay.
and there's also the spell Cause Fear, but that's a 2014 because it's from Xanathars. So
Oh. The only other thing I can think for that though is that they like we were talking about, they really honed in on this Wrath of the Wild feature,
hmm.
and they could have put fear into it, but admittedly, what was it? There was a subclass we talked about earlier. It might have been the Gloomstalker, where all their benefits came from having feared creatures around you.
Yeah.
I think there's also there's a paladin one that does that too, where it's like
Is
you
it
want
Oathbreaker?
feared people around you. It might be
I think it's either Oathbreaker or Conquest. I think it's
It
Conquest.
might be
you,
Conquest.
you
You're
just
probably
want
right.
feared things around you.
Yeah.
So I can understand, like, without having something build upon having fear around you, fear in and of itself isn't that good. Now, it may make you feel cool because you're like, haha, you're afraid of me now. Admittedly, though, it doesn't do much. It gives disadvantage for attackers and they can't approach you.
Yeah.
It doesn't do a whole lot. So
As we know very well in Arrested
I'd,
Development.
yeah, I'd rather have the features they're doing because, like, the Strangling Roots, that one's cool. The Eerie
That's cool.
Aura is cool. I like that you can just, when someone fails their saving throw around you, they don't get feared, but they can take psychic damage.
Yep.
I like that. I like that. Or poison, or necrotic. Um, Equal to your ranger level, that and it ignores resistance. I feel like we kind of like leapt over that, but like at level 20, you can make someone take 20 points of some damage that ignores resistance every turn if they
I
fail.
like that they're playing with that. They had that in the last one too, where they had a
Mm,
feature that ignored resistance, and I do enjoy that.
yeah. I think they're cooking. We'll have
Yep.
to see more whenever we get to another one of
Mhm.
these are the brand new ones. And
Yeah.
I was honestly most scared of these because they have not had a great track record with their brand new
Yes.
material.
Yeah.
They
Um,
maybe I mean, I know I've said it time and time again, but maybe finally enough damage has been done where people are like,
Back on
we
the
don't
upswing.
like this. Because
All I'm
also
gonna say-
apparently like the numbers came out a couple months ago for 2024 sales and it was abysmal.
Oh, I wonder
Um,
why.
So
all
yeah,
I'm gonna say,
people
Walter, we've had a lot of people quitting, Walter. There's
yeah,
been a lot of people leaving the dev
Wizards
team.
Wizards is losing money and they're losing support from both internally and externally. So maybe they're finally like, okay, we really gotta try. We actually gotta try to make this all right so that people will like it and play it.
Well, we'll see. A good start. That's the thing. I hate to say it because their marketing. It's black and orange marketing. It's black and orange capitalism. Their Halloween marketing.
Yeah.
They hit the halfway to Halloween. They did it. It's
Quit
right in the
saying that.
timeline that
Quit
they need
saying
to.
that, Jordan.
is the entire
I am
market for these
I am the
subclasses.
problem. I am the target audience.
They're going to make $1 jordillion come
It's
Halloween this
true,
year.
man. They've always been good at marketing about horror. That's the thing. They've always done it. They're most famous for Curse of Strahd, and anytime Wizards is like, we're making a horror thing,
And,
everyone's like,
yep,
"Ah, bah, 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 bah."
yeah, I was about to say when Van Richten's got announced, everyone was like, they're redoing all this, but they're doing more than Curse of Strahd.
I love Tasha's brew.
Everyone was really excited. Yeah.
They love Wizards horror. They love Wizards horror.
Yep.
I hate that that's like their thing because they can't do anything else. But
They do seem to make even if it like at the lowest it's like a mediocre. If it's never usually bad if it's the horror stuff. They're
Yeah.
all right at the very least at doing the horror. If
Yeah.
not good. So,
well, that's it for this one. Come back next time when we're going to tackle all the remakes, which I'll go ahead and read off.
For you.
We got Bard's College of Spirits making a return, which is strange because it was first. It scared me. It was first featured in a pretty new edition of 5e, so I'm excited to see it come back early in 2024. Glaric's Crave Domain. That's coming back. I said Glaric's Crave Domain.
He had a stroke.
The Cleric's Grave Domain's coming back, so sure, maybe we'll get a... I can't remember if 2024 had Death Domain. I don't think that it did. So
I don't remember. I blocked it from my memory.
Yeah, we saw who won the race on that one, at least. It's Grave Domain is the real cleric. Any Death Domain clerics out there? Not real, not important, no one likes you.
Dylan.
Literally the god of death.
Rogue Phantom. I'm surprised Rogue's getting in this, but okay.
Just for clarification, 2024 is Life, Light, Trickery, and War prior to this.
So no death, so Grave wins.
Yep.
Sorcerer is getting in there with Shadow Sorcery, which I didn't think was especially horror-y themed, but let's see what they pull out.
What it did in
Shadow
2020 or 2014.
And then Warlock gets 2 because they're God's favorite child, with Hexblade and Undead. Yeah.
Except maybe not, based off of some stuff we've heard through the grapevine. It might be more like God's gutted child, but
True.
Oh no.
So we'll see how this comes out. But the Undead beat the Undying allegations, so...
What are the Undying allegations?
Well, just because there was 2 subclasses for Warlock, Undead, and Undying, and it was really annoying.
Yeah.
That's it.
I thought you might do like some funny bit about
No.
what the Undying
Karen, you have anything to say?
Nah.
Okay.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed the episode you just listened to. If you really like our content, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on YouTube, and look for us on Spotify. If you'd like to see us continuing to do more fun projects in the future, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can find our page linked in the description above all of our other social media links. And finally, if you'd like to keep up with the zany shenanigans of our lives and check out some more skit-based content and things like that, check us out on Twitter and TikTok, links in the description. And hey, thanks!